choosing every day. And the other thing is nobody wants to fucking own who they are.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just in alcohol. Like, we could talk about anything right now with this message.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to truly take ownership for anything going on inside of their life.
Real business owner.
Whatever your situation is currently is not your forever situation.
That's really what real business owners is, man. Like, we don't care where you come from, where are you going?
Our goal and our job is to reduce the mistakes that you have to make or the money that you have to lose.
You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be successful, don't give up.
You learn, adjust, and continue to move forward.
Welcome back to the Real Business Owners Podcast. This is episode 131 with myself, Trevor Cowley. As always, Kilo G.
What's up, friends?
What's up, friends? We have another friend.
Yeah, we do.
We have an additional friend for you guys today. It's Mark Jennison.
Yes, sir.
Did I say it right?
Nailed it perfectly.
I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen that last name.
Yeah.
So
it's a powerful name.
Yeah, there you go. You made it powerful,
I'm
bro.
going to make
Yeah,
that powerful,
exactly.
sure.
So no, we're happy to have this individual on, and the reason being is because I know for a fact that, there's some listeners right now, especially I think as more shit happens in the world, we see alcohol sales shoot through the roof. And it's always when something negative is happening, you can see that this market over here, when bad things are going on, people drink more. Mark has a history himself of different issues or struggles that he's had to battle and had to overcome. And now he's an individual that's here to serve. He's here to coach, mentor, and help other individuals that are maybe in a dark place that need somebody to shine some light. And that's what his job is to shine light, in their life and maybe give them hope when they feel hopeless. Would you say that that's an accurate description?
Absolutely. I think that's anything that a good coach does is always providing hope, even in yourself in this podcast, by delivering hope to these guys, whether they're starting a business on day one or going to that $100 million mark. I wanted to be clear on something. You said that when things are bad, people drink. Dude, that's just bullshit, right? When they're good, they drink just as well. As a matter of fact, if you think about like a bar.
Why do you think sales go through the roof then? When even when the pandemic first hit, they said alcohol sales were up like 300%.
Yeah, but how do we really actually know that? Do you know what I'm saying? So they're going to report that negatively.
Yeah.
I don't trust anything the news says, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you think about like all the celebrations, NBA championships, football, NFL, like it's always just skyrocketing. I don't think that I do agree that when this pandemic hit, shit skyrocketed.
Well, there was a ton of scarcity. They're like, oh, you're not going to be able to get this or that and blah, blah, blah.
Maybe that had
and
something
like,
to do
I
with it.
literally saw people lined up the street by our liquor store and I was like, holy cow. But they were being told like they didn't know what they were going to be able to get, supplies and stuff. So people were just probably.
They're like, I'm good on toilet paper. I've already hit Costco. Now it's time.
Well, get my drinks.
Get the drinks to hunker down for whatever the quarantine is. Or
really,
whatever.
it was fear, though, right? It was just fear.
Oh,
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Right. I like to call that. I've done a ton of these radio shows about the accidental alcoholic.
Yeah.
Right.
And what does that mean?
I hate the word alcoholic, to be clear. Just so you know.
Because it's a stronghold type label that's who
it's an identity and a label that is not something that I'm ever going to give myself, regardless of how deep dark my past was. Right, like that's just in my opinion is weak.
And I agree with you 100% on that. And Kel knows this. And I don't care how anybody gets clean, gets sober, whatever works for that individual. Cool, but I never went through like an NA or a treatment or anything like that. When I said I was done with it, that was a commitment that I made to myself. And as I was going through the withdrawals and going through the pain, I wanted to cement the pain into my mind that that's the memory. That's what drugs do.
Sure.
Right. And then I made a promise that I will never put myself in this type of pain again. And, I just think people fail to keep promises to themselves or, that's really what it comes down to. But I didn't have to go through that because I didn't want to relive this old story over and over and over and say, hey, I'm a drug addict. My name's Trevor or whatever, right? Like I didn't want to identify with that. I was already Trevor the drug addict.
Right.
Now I'm Trevor, the individual that's trying to get somewhere completely opposite of where I've been. So why would I want to relive those past stories too
Absolutely.
much?
So you said a lot of cool things inside there, which hits in line with what my program actually teaches people with, which I won't go into right now, but choice. The greatest gift, the greatest power that we all possess, the ability to choose. Like I chose to jump on a plane, 2 planes to be able to get here, to spend an hour with you guys.
And we appreciate it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's flying in and flying out, or, at nighttime, flying out early morning.
Most places are 2 planes to get here.
Yeah, it was
that's what he
definitely 2
said.
planes.
He said 2 planes.
2 planes to get here.
Yeah.
It was either that or fly to Vegas and drive.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather just sit in
Yeah.
Denver and take a 20-minute Uber. Anyways.
Exactly.
Choosing every day. And the other thing is nobody wants to fucking own who they are.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just in alcohol. Like, we could talk about anything right now with this message.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to truly take ownership for anything going on inside of their life. It's easy to say something else hurt me. My mom hurt me. My dad hurt me. My business. I mean, you know how many clients I have?
You're validating the reason why you're making a bad choice, and it has nothing to do with you. It was because of this.
Dude, I guarantee you that out of the hundreds of thousands of listeners you have on this, someone out there is still blaming 2000. They're drinking every day.
Yeah.
And they're still blaming 2008.
Oh yeah.
Right? Pretenders.
Oh man,
they're still
I had it so good prior to this crash.
But they'd done nothing until the pandemic hit, and they're even further and further down, living in their mom's basement. And at one point, they're probably on top of the world.
Yeah.
Right? And they could have fixed it. Like, I'm no different. As a matter of fact, when 2007 is when, if we want to get into my story here in a little bit, but
please.
2007 is when I built my first multi-million-dollar company. Like, I built it inside of that tough time, 7, 8, 9, 10, only to lose it by my own hand, right? Discipline, right? Like, thinking about what you just said. You didn't want to be Cal, or you didn't want to be Trevor anymore, the fucking junkie.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be that
I was
guy.
already that. I already knew I was that, and now I'm clean.
But you were never even really that guy.
Yeah.
That was just something you were in your journey to get where you're at. Like right now, today, I'm sitting in your office, right? Like this is your story. This is the journey. You guys, did you know each other at that time? Like,
we met. I was, I think, 19 and Kel was 20, and then I ended up hanging around the wrong crowd. We
went down different paths for a while.
We went down different paths,
right?
and so Kel didn't really know me as that. He probably did or heard stories, I'm sure. Hey, Trevor, oh yeah, that guy. He's doing this now or whatever, right? But we reconnected, after probably 4 or 5 years after I got clean. I think within like a year and a half of me getting clean, we ended up reconnecting.
See, my point is this. I walk into your beautiful building. You got this whole 3rd floor up here, right? You guys got business meetings going on, stuff on the wall, lights, cameras, action rolling, right? This is just part of your journey. That was just kind of who you were at that time. The guy even you are right now, both you guys before me and myself included, but this is not our end-all be-all, right?
Yeah.
The identity that we wear today of a businessman, entrepreneur, father, whatever label we want to give ourselves, is not even the real fucking label we're going to die with, right? If you really want to think about it. So I could get into the message that I deliver. It is not one of just, oh man, woe was me, little bitch. I drank too much, 50, 60 drinks a day, whatever. It's one of redemption and courage and freedom.
Right.
Like every day that I get up in my life, I'm trying to deliver a message of freedom for myself first. And I couldn't have a layer of freedom in my life when I was looking at it if I would take an identity of an alcoholic or a junkie, regardless of what society said about me.
Right.
So
even if you don't take the identity of an alcoholic, right? Like I don't. But I do drink occasionally. And then sometimes I even tell my wife, I'm like, why the fuck do I even go, even drink occasionally? Like, it's very rare. Every once in a while, there's like, hey, we got friends, have drinks. It's fun. You don't really have any regrets. But most of the time, there's like these regrets. You're working through a hangover. You feel like in a depression for a few days, and you fight out of it. And then you find some momentum. And then you're like, whatever it is, social setting, you drink again. It's like, then you start kind of sabotaging yourself mentally, right? You kind of pull yourself down. Like, I think a lot of it is mental, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure. I mean, there's probably guys even or gals or whatever at that level too. They're just like, dude, I'm not really an alcoholic, but it is kind of fucking with my life, right? Like, do you have a lot of guys that you service like that, or is it mostly like they're like, dude, I'm an alcoholic. Like I've drank myself to the bottom.
So we've got a wide array of people that we help, but I would say primarily like one of my clients that I helped literally just sold his company for $500 million last week. And I'm flying out to his birthday party on. He probably listens to this podcast. He's big in like a service industry, and the reason I say that is because that's like a high end individual.
Oh yeah.
And then I got guys that are coming in, a lot of vets who are at the bottom, but they really have this desire to fix themselves. So it's not about like where you drink or how you drink, whether it's 1, 2, 30, 50, or how you shoot heroin or whatever it is. It's about being a high driven, achieving man.
Right.
Right. So what you said right there, about going along and making choices, and you're feeling good, then you have a couple drinks, you're probably celebrating success, and then you're celebrating that success by a hangover, feeling like a bag of dicks, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
3, 4, 5 days depressed, and then you get right back on, go maybe 3 months, right? And then you find yourself back. Would you ever say you're an alcoholic for that? No. You just made some choices. Back to what I said before. And when you look at every choice, so when I talk about freedom, and I talk about intentional intensity in all things that I do. I don't know if you could tell by like when I turned it on to sit here, I'm an intense dude.
Yeah.
I'll sit back and I'm quiet, but I fucking showed up to win.
Yeah.
I showed up here on this podcast. I know there's bigger names than me, but I want someone to hear this thing to change their fucking life.
And I guarantee you there will be. I guarantee you there will be. You will get messages.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like everybody that's on the show ends up everybody's connecting with different guests. For the most part, it's all great information, but there's some people that just, man, it's like they spoke to me directly. And I would say just, entrepreneurship in general, the highs are extremely high and the lows are extremely low. Like one person was like, they said something about being in sales or whatever. What's it like being a business owner? And I said, it's just like sales, like when you're having good weeks and everything's going, the high is super high. But if you can't close a fucking door, you feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world. I'm like, but now times that by 10, because you have all these other people that are underneath you that you have to ultimately make decisions that will affect them, whether they know it or not. And I said, so the highs are really high and the lows are really low. And would you say that you see a large percentage of people that are entrepreneurial end up kind of going down that rabbit hole, maybe during more stressful times or celebrating or whatever it is?
Absolutely.
Or is there an industry
that
you see like peak abuse, I guess, in any substance?
Man, it's hard to
label that.
It's hard to label that because I don't think that choices discriminate.
Gotcha.
Right? I'm not going to say, like Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever would say that addiction doesn't discriminate, it helps it. Like, fuck that. I'm not trying to give that kind of message. Choices don't discriminate. We've got professional athletes. We've got businessmen, got a lot of firemen. It's always somebody who's got drive, right? But that is at the core, since this is your audience, we'll talk about entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That's really what they are. Whether they made their first dollar or they made millions of dollars, there's something inside of them, this primal instinct calling them to fucking drive and win and achieve and go and go and go and go. So those guys typically, they play hard, they play big, and then they fall big, right? So you classify, when you look at that mindset, to me, it's like a lot larger than just an entrepreneur. Right. But yeah, man, I mean, when you take a step back and you look at why I serve them, it's because it's who I am.
Yeah.
Right? That's who I am. I've done multiple businesses in my life. I'm going to tell you something for your audience listening out there. One of the biggest things that I did that I'm proud of as far as being an entrepreneur and why I'm actually on this thing, because think about it. How many people actually help people every day for free? A lot, right?
Right.
I went to society. I put my fucking face out on Facebook. There's, I think 13, we got like this, what I call the preparation age problem, right? I got a great product, but nobody wants to talk about using it.
Right.
Right. But on the inside, like that's legit what it is. I got this great fucking product. Everyone loves it on the inside, but nobody wants to let the world know that they have it.
Right.
Okay. But when I see my insights, we have 13 million people through my paid advertising, the organic channels that get shared, that view this stuff every month. 13 million.
Wow.
Okay. And where I'm going with this is these people, I created this audience and I went to them and I threw myself underneath the bus and I said, look, I'm going to tell you guys you're not powerless. I'm going to tell you that your labels are fucking fucked up. I'm going to give you a new identity and belief system called the comeback, and I'm going to charge you for it. Right? Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm going to charge you for it, which is why I'm on this entrepreneur podcast. Because the truth is, if I was just some dude that was helping somebody in a church basement, you wouldn't want nothing to do with me.
Absolutely not.
And why is that important that I charge for it? It's because I didn't take it serious for myself.
Right.
Right. I don't know if you want to get into my story or not about how that came from, but
yeah. No, I mean, just so you guys know, Mark definitely has, some, probably more than one crazy story, right? In terms of some of the things that he's had to overcome. And that's exactly what we want you to do. We want you to share your journey because somebody will connect with maybe where you were 10 years ago or 15 years ago. That's there today.
Sure.
That's a fact. Your 15 years ago is somebody's they're living that right now, right? And I want other individuals to kind of hear your story, and in some cases, you know, basically utilize you to build more belief in themselves that change can happen, right? And that's the most important message that anybody could share, is that change is possible and change can happen through the power of choice, right?
You know, and people don't put a whole lot of skin in the game, or they don't put a whole lot of action into the you know, efforts of whatever it is until there is a little skin in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a problem at all with being like, dude, I'm going to change the game because I'm going to help hold you accountable, but I'm going to charge your ass because you're going to take this thing seriously.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening to this, and you guys you should go check out some of my paid advertisement, what these people say, like about charlatan and fraud and fucking scam. Like, I mean, dude,
you'll get that.
I'm talking like dudes want to send me death threats.
Really?
Like, tell me, oh, I'm gonna fuck your wife. Your kid looks like
well, they're
you know,
probably like, oh,
you're preying on people that are in a bad situation.
Right.
Well, he's also has thousands of messages of
people
the fact that
he's helped change their life. Obviously, they had to make the decision and the commitment, but obviously he shined light in the area that they needed light shine so that they could see their own bullshit, right?
What gets me is every time they do that, and then I go look at their page, and they're giving everything to God. On one side, you're going to kill me, and then you're going to give everything to God.
Yeah, they're the most religious, gracious person
right?
in the world on their page, but then they're...
But in my DMs, dude, you want to kill me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Very Christ-like, sir.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll just give you a quick background, man. So I'm 41 years old. I'm straight out of the trailer, right? My parents had me young.
Wisconsin.
Illinois, then went to Florida, then Wisconsin.
Gotcha.
But I stayed in Illinois most of my life.
Gotcha.
My mom and dad married young, household every night fighting, fucking getting beat, like, you know, just very, very shitty.
Was there drug or alcohol abuse
No,
involved?
it's the craziest
It was just,
thing, man. I think my dad was just I think there were two kids that were toxic as fuck. They didn't know how to get along, and it was just chaos, and they weren't right for each other. And I don't think neither of them knew how to handle. They're still crazy in there right now today, right? Yeah. And they hate each other today. They're still fighting. They're not even married. They've been divorced since I was 13.
I know some parents like that.
Do you?
But so the life was chaotic. I mean, not to go into my pity shit when I was a kid. Just we also had some great times. I raced motocross, right? Like,
it's always hard to talk about your story because you're like
that part's
you're not trying to sell this like weird, you know, I came from this horrible past, but there is a lot of power in where you come from.
There's a ton,
it's important
right?
that you talk about it.
Yeah.
There's a ton of it. And the biggest thing too is like I don't want to give my mom and dad are both still alive, and my son literally just followed you guys on your thing today. He's 12 years old. So the last thing I want to do is talk shit about. He's gonna listen to this.
Yeah.
Talk shit about his grandma and grandpa, right? So I try to leave that out of it. But straight up, for me, it sucked, man. Every night. Fighting, dinner plates flying, purse getting emptied out, my dad calling me fat, fuck, you know, mom punching me, belt, like cars getting repossessed, just that type of lifestyle.
You just grew up in chaos.
Yeah, just chaos every day.
Yeah.
But it's also the very thing that makes me who I am today.
Exactly.
Right? Like I know how to handle my shit in every situation where I look at like my son or look at my daughters as well, and like dad takes care of everything, which is probably not a good thing. It's probably another topic for a conversation.
Right.
But that made me who made me a little bit crazy. I want to touch base on this. My brother was a really good motocross racer. Like dirt bikes are prevalent in my life. We actually sponsor a race team right now. I'm a Comeback does. So it's like we're on TV, Supercross, motocross, really top team. So it's always been a love of mine. But my brother was really, really good. Him and Travis, like he raced against Travis Pastrana, rode for Suzuki, like all big names you guys would know. They chased this career, and I got put on the back burner, right? Dad didn't really care about me. Mom was
so all the time and money and energy was invested into
his racing, into where they were going, and I was left to the wayside to make some poor fucking choices. My brother actually told a story at my event last week about, he's like, man, our dad wouldn't even let you eat. I wasn't even allowed to eat. Like all the food needed to be for Kurt, rice, steak. He needs to bulk up so that he can ride that dirt bike. Fuck you, Mark. Right? Like that's
There's Toporama for you, if anything.
Nothing, bro. Like I was figuring out how to go to the bar and play some pool or steel or whatever I could do to eat so that I could figure it out. And that's as a kid.
Do you think that served you today when there's chaos in your life, that you're a little bit more calm and collected during it because you've dealt with chaos
Not
previously?
only am I calm and collective in it, I thrive in it.
Gotcha.
That's a scary place to be, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's another conversation. Like,
Well, in some cases, people create their own chaos because that's where they're more comfortable.
and if I'm not, exactly.
Yes.
If I'm not careful, then
Yeah.
I'm creating that all the time. And that's not serving the business. That's not serving
Correct.
me. It's not serving my clients. So I'm just gonna run through this so we can get these listeners to understand what I'm a Comeback is, why I'm here, why you're listening to me, why they can probably believe in what we do. Parents divorced, 13 years old, 14 years old. Dad took off with my brother. I had this uncle that was my dad's brother. He was always good to me, though. They left me behind. I went to Wisconsin to live with him. Kind of bounce around grandma's house here and there. Put myself through high school. Nobody gave a fuck if I went to school.
Did your dad take your brother for
they
the
were
motocross thing?
Yeah, they're in
and
Florida,
just
Colorado,
flying,
Texas,
gotcha.
right? Like they're everywhere in the United
Still
States.
100% vested in
100% vested in him. Yep.
Boy's career, not yours.
All the way until I was like literally 20 years old, they were doing that. But it was just, they left without me. As a matter of fact, I remember the time I gave my dad, I was so fucking sad. Like, he couldn't even pay child support. I gave him the $100 that I made working at 13 years old. I gave him the $100 to pay child support to my mom. I don't even know if he ever gave it to him. I ran inside to grab my clothes. And I was going to go with him because I didn't want to stay with my mom. And as I come running out, I only see taillights. Right? I was left behind.
Damn.
So that's actually the biggest piece of at that moment I said, no one's going to fuck with me ever again. I didn't realize what I was saying, but that anger made me who I am today. And I still use it to serve me to liberate men. They didn't give a shit, really. They were doing their thing. I was left with my uncle at 14 years old. I'm learning how to drink, pick up, like in the bars, hanging out with people I shouldn't be hanging out with. I think that alcohol and drugs equates to power because he was an entrepreneur. He taught me everything about how to make money and how to hustle. And he also taught me about bad things, drinking, drugs, women, right? He taught me everything, but he was the greatest man in my life. So he served me, and I went from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, got out of high school, started dating a girl, and things didn't work out the way that I wanted. That you would think. It's just a young, dumb relationship.
Yeah.
Anyways, broke up. I'd gotten a fight. This is important because I got in a fight down at Rockford Arena Cross, got beat up by some dudes, broke my leg, said I'm moving to California a few days before Christmas Eve. Jumped in my Chevy S10 Extreme with $120, a hot pink cast on my right leg, and drove all the way across the country stealing gas just to get out to California. No job. Just pump and run, bro. No job. No clue what I was going to do. $120, listening to Sublime, and that's it. Just rolling across the country.
Open road and just not knowing what the hell life is going to bring.
I made it all. I went right through. I remember coming through here the first time as a kid, but I made it all the way to Victorville a couple days before Christmas, and my fuel pump went out.
Damn.
In my truck, and I'm crutching down the road. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. What happened out in California was I ended up finding out who I was. And because I could drink more, fight more, was just a wild dude. I got real popular inside of the motorcycle industry. I got a job at Pro Circuit, which is like the number one.
So you were making a name for yourself, even if it was somewhat negative. At
Not only
least you were standing out.
Dude, I stood out because I could drink, and I became great friends with like the most powerful. It was like my dad, the most powerful man in motocross. Name was Mitch Payton. He's the owner of the team. Anyways, what happened out there though was the drinking. Every night was good. I started living a double life, and I got addicted to crystal meth.
First, how did that even come up? Was somebody you looked up to, somebody that you worked with, because that's how it happened with me. Is it was just in the environment. And I was in the environment and then got introduced. I still had the decision to obviously say, yeah, let's roll. But
so I'd already done cocaine, right? Partying from
kind of
14 years old.
With stuff
straight up, what happened the night was I went to get some blow, and the guy didn't have any, but he said I have some speed. I said, cool.
I'll take whatever.
I'm
trying to escape.
I hit it one time, and I was wide open. That was the best feeling of my life.
Gotcha.
Next 3 years, it just completely started unraveling.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple things that are important here to understand. My uncle, who loved me, though, was always trying to get me to come back home. As I was losing my shit out there in California, he got cancer. Okay, so they kept trying to get me to come home. 2007, he wasn't doing too well. They said, "Hey, why don't you come home? We're gonna have a family reunion." I fucking crushed up 6 grams of meth on the inside of an Axe spray can. Right, that type of thing.
Axe body spray.
Axe body spray. Yeah. I crushed it up. Electrical taped it to the inside of the bags. Went to LAX. As I was coming in, I saw the drug dogs, so I got back into a car, took off back to Corona where I was living. Smoked it all, The next day, did another 6 grams, did it, and flew home with it. Literally fucking flew home with that in my bag, like a total moron, right?
Yeah.
Why this is important is, though, I thought like the world, there was no rules for me. I just didn't listen to rules. I just didn't
You just
care.
did what you wanted.
I made every fucking choice was my choice. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. I went home. I got off the plane. My brother says, "Hey, man, how much of that shit do you got?" By this time, everyone knew what was up, right? And I said, "I got 6 grams." Laughed it off. And he goes, "Good, because you're not going back." That was my first loss.
Yeah.
Right? That was my first. My car was out there still. My bank account's not that I had much money left in there.
Yeah.
My clothes. I had 3 pair of clothes, and I stayed in Southern California, or I stayed in Wisconsin after that. Like I was home.
So did he do that just out of the
To
fact
save
of
my life.
saying, like, dude,
Yeah, you're out of
you're
control. You're fucking nuts.
losing yourself out there.
You're
You need to
unraveling.
yeah. Okay.
So there was a moment inside of there. That was 2007. My best friend, tattooed on right here, he died Christmas Eve. I mean, there's a lot.
Drug abuse?
No, drinking and driving.
Gotcha.
Right. So everyone I loved has been impacted
Yeah.
by this. I don't want to turn this into a 3-hour fucking story, but he died Christmas Eve, and my life from then just went unwound even more. It was like my first loss, right? Like my uncle's got cancer. I'm losing my mind. My best friend dies. My life's unraveling. I fly home. Life that I know it is just done at this point. I'm just turned 26, 27 years old. Anyways, I come home. I switch the meth for a couple bags of blow a day and 2 bottles of Captain Morgan's every day.
So how were you supplying yourself?
My uncle owned a bar, and my dad owned but 2 bars, right? So as long as I was home, they didn't care, right? So by this time, my dad was back. They weren't racing anymore. He was trying to make his living in a bar, and I was drinking fucking nonstop. And because I was so angry at him, I would fuck that place up every night, steal the cash register. Just people would leave the bar.
Again, no rules.
No rules.
Right.
No rules. No choice. Didn't care. I was so angry. I wanted to hurt. I physically would go out and hurt people.
Yeah.
Like mentally, emotionally. I was out.
Maybe feel like you were owed that, from some of the bullshit that went on,
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't care. I wanted to hurt everybody as much as he hurt me. So anyways, I switched that. I switched that around for those 2 bottles of Captain a day and the cocaine, and I was living life, no work, no nothing. What happened was my uncle, who was fighting cancer, actually got a clean bill of health. They actually beat it. He got a clean bill of health on a Friday, and he went out riding on his Harley with his buddies drinking, and he got killed.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
That's crazy.
A few days after.
Yeah.
So now I lost my best friend in 2005. Then I lose the one dude that's always been there for me. And I'm like, fuck, what do I do? I knew nothing about, I worked on dirt bikes. Dude, and now I'm angry and I'm drinking. I got a bad drug problem, like just a miserable fuck. But I made a decision. I made a choice. I said, I'm going to make my uncle proud. And I'm going to build this company. He had a tiny little trucking company in shambles because of the cancer. He had 1 truck. I turned it around. I couldn't save his, so I figured out how to create my own new one. And like I said, I turned it into 78 employees, 43 semis, 3 different warehouses, diversifying into other businesses. I grew it to a multi-million-dollar company by 2013. So
And you were clean the entire time that you did it?
No, my drug and alcohol abuse got worse. About $3,000 a day is what I would spend.
Well, you got to do millions and millions in revenue
to be able to do that.
You're an expensive habit,
I mean, I would go to Vegas like a moron and party on $85,000 in a night just for what? I was told I had a good time. I mean, no rules. No rules.
Yeah.
So were you the type that when you would drink, you'd have no idea what happened the night before?
I wouldn't know what happened for a week, a month sometimes. I would stay so
just a
fucked
blur.
up. Yeah. So I'll finish the story. So I build that company up. Things are really, really good. Everything I touch turns to gold. Literally making money hand over fist. Things are great until either God, the universe says, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm taking this away from you."
Right.
Smack done. Like God.
Well, if it didn't, then maybe you would go to 4 or 5,000 or 6,000. You know what I
Or
mean?
dead.
Yeah, or dead.
Right? Or dead.
Exactly.
So I lost my business on May 15th, 2013. I lost all that, right? Got in bed with some bad partners, with diversifying some things. There's a whole nother fucking story.
Making some investments, trying to think that you're
thinking I'm going to outsmart it.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad, right? And I was just lying to everybody. I'm like, it's going to be fine. I'm going to get through this, right? Just putting on this fucking fake show, like many people probably are on your audience. I'm putting on the show, and then finally, boom, it's over, right? From millions of dollars to done. The depression sets in pretty gnarly, right? So from May 15, 2013, all the way to Father's Day, June 18. Now, don't forget, at this point, I'd already had a son, right? So in 2009, I was also married. I don't talk about it much, but awful relationship, like the most toxic, bad things.
I wonder why that transpired. I have no clues yet so far of why he wanted to pick the one that was going to be chaos.
It was chaos as fuck.
Yeah,
but I got the best thing out of it. I got my son.
Yeah.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's cool now because she actually has cancer right now. She's had it since he was a baby, and like her and I are friendly. And it's great for him, which was very difficult to be because we literally hated each other. So, and that's my new wife, Kendra, the one that you guys met. She's like pushed me to become a better to her. So, not that we're best friends, but
it's still
for my son.
Work in progress, and you're doing what you can.
We're doing what's right for my son. So June 18th, which is Father's Day, I'm being a shitty fucking dad, right? I just lost my business. I'm still trying to live this lie. I'm selling my hot tub. I'm fucking doing cocaine all day long, selling my bike, selling my cars, like
liquidating
trailers that I had, clothes, shoes, like literally selling everything.
Anything.
Drinking and drugging as fast as I could. I woke up on Father's Day of 2013, suicidal. And my house, it's a big old house, empty as fuck. I remember I go down where my mom's staying because she's living with me at that time. And she's like biting her nails, like, like kind of depressed. Like her son is just unraveling all over, right before her eyes. And I walk in, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna kill myself. Like I'm fucking out of here. I can't take this. My life's over. I lost my business. My shot's over. Like
nothing's working.
Nothing's working right now. Woe is me.
It had nothing to do with you. It's just everything around.
I'm blaming everything. I got fucked, right?
Yeah.
But the truth, I didn't really want to die. I just wanted to feel better. Right? I just wanted to feel better. And
you wanted out of that situation so bad that if that was an option, it was an option you thought about.
Well, I did. I had the last thing I had left was a $3 million life insurance policy for my son. And I thought that it would be better off if he had that versus his dad.
Yeah.
I was contemplating that every day.
Right.
So anyways, I wake up that morning. And I remember everybody who I've really, truly loved in my life to this point, besides my brother, because I love my brother. You guys will meet up sometime. But had died. My uncle and Jimmy. I keep a very tight circle, right? So I'm running out of people in my zone, in my dome. Anyways, I wake up that day. I tell her what's going on. Tell my mom what's going on. She calls some of my friends. They show up with some beer, right, to make me feel a little bit better. I start drinking. I'm crying. I'm fucking feeling sorry for myself. Let's go get some lunch. So we go down to this little taco shop, buy about 25, 30 drinks in, some margaritas. I'm feeling better. I get this. Come Monday, I'm going to figure this shit out.
Life's good again.
Life's good, right? I'm good. I got this.
You're motivated.
I'm going to figure this out come Monday. Anyways, there's this girl there. I'm saying, I'm going to go swimming. She's like, I got a lake house. I'm like, cool. I'm going to go swim with you. Let's go swimming. I jump in the car with her. I take off, right? Go from being suicidal to just gone, on foot, no money, barefoot, literally didn't have shoes on. We went to the other side of the lake, which is it's of no geographical known to you guys, but it should have only been about a 7-minute drive. Yeah, right. We went to multiple towns. Took about 40 minutes to get there. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Every time we went in, she's in the bathroom running some water. And I'm like, well, I'm a known cocaine user. Like, don't hide it, divide it. Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out she's doing heroin. Right? So here I wake up this morning, and I'm feeling like shit. And then I put 2 and 2 together. And I'd snorted heroin, right? To that point, meth, mainly uppers.
Yeah.
I put 2 and 2 together, and I say, shoot me up. Right? So I fucking let her shoot me up, and I get high. The first time I shot it, not snorted, but it was the first time that I shot it. And I realized, like, fuck, this isn't me. Like, I'm better than this. Like, what are you doing? Like, I had a moment of clarity. So I call my friend. I say, hey, go get my truck. Come get me. I got to get out of here. Now, I don't remember. He never made it with my truck. I don't remember what happened in that evening. Remember, I haven't seen my son. Everyone's around dead. Lose my business. Fucking life's in shambles. I call him to come get me. The last words that I remember I said to him, hey, you don't have to be like me. And he said, this isn't my first rodeo. Fast forward to 2 a.m. and he's dead. I'm breathing. I find him on the floor. And I'm breathing. I'm trying to breathe breath back into him. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Right? And at some point during that night, I wiped out, right? So my face is full of blood, and he's dead on the floor. And again, my dad, this is the craziest thing. Like, him and I don't even talk, but I call my dad first out of all people. Like, hey, Dad, Tony, he's dead. Tony's dead. He's like, call the fucking cops, right? So I call the cops, and they come. Because I'd fell, all these things, I didn't know what was going on. She lawyered up real quickly. She was able to get make it so they couldn't come in. They had to get a warrant. She'd been down that road at this chick's house. He's dead. I'm fucking puking. My life is like, what the fuck is going on? His brother at this point was still working for the guy that took my business. Like, everything is just, the pressure's on me. Just fuck. They end up basically trying to pin
everything
on me.
you.
She lawyered up and got out of the country.
Damn.
So I was left to figure it out. And I'm like, man, if you're going to fucking do something, you got to do it, right? Even though I didn't see him do drugs, even though I didn't give them to him, like, I was just going to be honest with them. I just was going to tell them what I knew. And luckily for me, like, I told the truth. And because I didn't have anything to do with it, I'm not in any trouble. However, they tried everything they could do, back and forth for months and months and months. And they're trying to figure out at my buddy's funeral, because, it was a couple of days later, his face was bruised up for whatever reason. And then they were saying, because my face was fucked up, you hear the rumbling in the crowd, Mark beat him to death. He's a fucking psycho. Right? Like, hearing all these things. So I'm going through that, and I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Right? Like, again, so I said, let's do more heroin. Drink more.
Well, you're just escaping reality
at this point,
over and over and over.
What else do I do? I'm complying and and telling them, like, here's my deal. Like, this is what happened, but I'm just fucking fucked up. Like, fucked up. Now, remember, I lost that business, and I lost that business, and it was taken by this guy who kept trying to run it. I literally just signed a $27 million contract with Generac Power Systems before I fucking lost the business. Like, I should have been in a good spot.
Yeah.
On top of everything else that I have going on. But my brother, my friends, my cousins, everybody worked over there for this guy. And they keep coming to me like, Mark, we got to do something. We got to get out of here. Like, let's start another company. Like, what can we do? And I take it upon myself to build up another company. Fast forward, I got myself to the point, I got myself cleaned up. Took 12 days. As I was sitting there writing a suicide note again to my son, I heard a voice that said, you're not done yet. And I'm like, okay. And I put it together. 12 days took me to detox. Ended up in the next 10 months building from nothing another $10 million company. Right? We did 10 million in 10 months, which was pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And I helped everybody.
Well, it only took us about 8 years.
But here's the biggest thing.
So if you want to hire Mark, he'll turn your business from 0 to 10 million in 8 months. That's the message.
It was fucking.
You watch people extract. They're like, "Yo, hey, what did you do?"
It was. I went to work every day, but the biggest thing was, I stopped myself from drinking and drugs. But all I really did was switch to steroids. That's it.
It's always abusing.
Dude,
you go 100% at anything that you're doing.
Dude, I got down 4.5, 5% body fat, shredded as fuck, like, looked good. Everything was great.
It's easy to justify.
Yeah, like, I look great. Like, I'm not, at least I'm not drinking.
I
I'm
feel
not
good. I look good. And it's way better than that shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Even though I don't sleep because I got so much tren pumping through my body. Just fucking. Anyways, so I go for about 10 months on that company, and I said, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Right. So I just walk away from that company. The pressure, I didn't want that pressure. I found network marketing. This is an interesting thing, right? Like, I'm like, oh, I can actually make money off my own efforts. And I nailed it quickly. Like, I started making a ton of money off it, doing great. Like, because I was selling protein shakes. I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
Oh, people are going to like, dude, what are you taking?
Dude, yeah.
Here you go.
Isogenics.
Isogenics. There's
dude,
boom, boom.
My uncle did that, and he got up to a
I
point
know
where he was
people
making
made
like 50
really good
grand
money
a
in
month.
isogenics.
I made a bunch of money.
Residual.
I made like
off of
19 grand in the first like 3 weeks. I'm like, dude, if I can, and I got to keep it all. I didn't have to give it away to people I owed money to. I'm like, fucking sweet. This is for me. So I went on a tear, and I got really, really good at it. Got myself on steroids, but off of dope and off of drinks. I went out to San Diego for an awards dinner that they wanted me to come to. I went to the bathroom, and the guy in the bathroom, literally the attendant in this nice place, says, "Want some Coke?" I said, "Fuck yeah." I'm clean, right? He offers it to
Yeah.
me. I'm here for an event. There are all these like really rich, successful people are there. I go in the bathroom. It's not Coke. It's fucking Crank. I hit it like that.
What's the difference? I don't know.
It's just the same. It's just the same shit. It's well, Coke is low as cocaine. Crank is like manufactured fucking speed, right? So
Yeah.
And then I'm in San Diego, wide open, off to the races, like drinking one night, like off
one
to
night.
the race, just everything I had just built.
Well, that shows people right there that one bad decision makes it 10 times easier for a second bad decision and a third. That's why I think people need to really, decide if they're going to analyze the decision and make the right choice in every single circumstance, because one good decision leads to another.
Sure.
Like, dude, if I start hitting the gym and I'm out of shape and I feel sore, I'm going to be like, I probably should eat healthier. And then all of a sudden these new habits start forming that create a new one and a new one. But it's the same with a bad habit. A bad habit turns into two.
What it was for me, though, if you think about it, and I'm almost done with sharing the rest. There's more shit you guys got to hear about. The decision, I had no framework. I had no foundation. I didn't work on me.
Yeah.
Even though I was
You
sober.
always worked it was just money.
Like there was nothing on my mind. It was fucking grow, push, money, build. Like,
But you had a bunch of anger that you still had to
angry
fucking
as
deal
fuck.
with.
Plus the steroids and all this. And then the minute I took that,
do you think that you build, go, move?
I do the same thing today that I do then.
But do you think that had something to do with like the fact that the attention was put on your brother and you're like, I'm going to prove that I'm fucking worthy. I'm going to build big shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it came from when I was
some
a kid.
sort of subconscious shit.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers that I am valuable. They put all the value on him growing up, but none on me.
Right.
So I'm going to take it upon myself to show them that I'm valuable, and I'm going to do it through building big shit.
I'm sure 100% that was in there, but
Not necessarily as a thought process.
it's now who I am, though.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking proud of it.
Yeah.
Right. So I go out, I'm on a bender for a couple days, go back, that network marketing company just, I fuck it all up, right? I find myself at the bar prospecting people, drunk, it's just a fucking mess. So I hit rock bottom again. So here I've lost my marriage. I've lost the people that I love. Not that, thank God I lost that marriage, but the people that I loved, my first business, my second business, and now this network marketing business, and my career in fucking California that all my life is just lose.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I do? And that little boy, this is where this is coming from, right? Like I was a shitty dad. I was trying, I loved him. I'd buy him stuff, but I wasn't the dad he has today.
Yeah.
I couldn't be. I was fucked up in the head, right? Like I was fucking making bad choices. So I remember I'm at the gym. I'm still drinking, figuring stuff out. I grew this big beard, I'm strong, lifting. Gym never fouls you, right? It's winter
There's a
time.
lot of validation that goes along with that too.
Sure.
When people come up to you like, "Damn, dude,"
100%.
you're like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
it helps the ego."
100%.
So when you're at a low spot, it's not bad to get some compliments.
Right. Right. So I'm looking out the window at the gym and I see a car dealership, right? And I'm like, fuck, I gotta feed this kid. I owe the IRS. I was like 1.5 million personally upside down at that point, right?
To the IRS or just in general?
IRS was a $500,000
Yeah.
at that time. Other creditors and things like that. It was 1.5 that I would have had that I actually had to pay back, that I did pay back and take care of. But my life was fucked, right? So I'm staring at this car dealership and I'm like, I got to do something. I'm going to go sell cars. But it's in the middle of a farm field. Okay, so I'm like, I can't sell cars here. So I go to the one in the town where I knew people that I bought cars from. I said, hey, I need a job selling cars. They passed on me, which fucking pissed me off even more, right? So I go to that one inside of the cornfield, the cornfield one, and they hire me on the spot. They give me an opportunity. I never sold cars, never did anything. I walk in the first day, they're having this big snow sale because it was like almost Thanksgiving. It was whatever, Black Friday sale. And I walk in and they fucking give me some Joe Verdi tapes. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's like a car sales trainer guy.
No,
right?
I'm not familiar.
This old ass dude is
Yeah.
going to tell me how to, it's just whatever. They give me these tapes. What the fuck is this? And I pitch them and I just start selling. I just start taking ups and doing whatever. Long story short, on that car, why this is important is because I found out how to take that energy into build and burn mentality I had and build something great. I became the top salesman in that. I was selling 35 cars a month on average out of that cornfield place. When I came to that dealership, they're only fucking selling 35 cars. Inside of 6 months, I was selling 35 myself. The most I ever sold was 62 in 1 month. It's fucking hustling.
No, that's impressive.
Right?
You know, we know guys in the car industry, and
So what happened though is I got myself sober. Still no framework. Still no nothing. I made it through like 3, 4, 5 months. I started leaving the Saturday morning meetings with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 cash.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I found myself
using that cash for something you shouldn't have.
At the bar, relapsed again. But everything I touch is turned into gold. Selling cars like candy bars, just fucking pushing them through. My birthday is June 10th, okay? And
You're a fellow Cancer.
I'm a Gemini.
Oh.
Psycho.
Are you?
Yeah.
The cut, then you might barely
Probably
make the
one
cut
day,
off.
yeah.
No, yeah, it's like the 11th or something.
So June 10th is my birthday. I decided I'm not going to work. And then so they kind of like, okay, no, whatever, no big deal, right? But at this point, they knew I relapsed.
They gave you a pass on
They kind of
that.
gave me a pass, but I'm in a demo in their car. I don't show up on the 11th. Nowhere to be found. At this point, I'm fucking high on everything. I'm fucking drunk. I've been up all night. Excuse me. So they've come and find me. They send the porter to come get me. They find me. I'm just trash. They bring me back to the dealership, and they basically say, hey, you have one option. You take help from us. You go to rehab because you have so much talent, or you're fucking done. And at this point, I'd lost everything. I'm like, well, I'll take help. So they get me in a bed on the 12th. I went to rehab. We actually pulled in to the rehab facility. I said to Ron, the guy that brought me there, I said, I'm not done yet. Take me back to that bar. I fucking pounded a bunch more shots. I went in, I blew a .367 and failed everything on the drug test except for marijuana when I went in there. I lied and did the 28-day, or I got out July 3rd, 21, 20, whatever many days it was. I never really did the work, but I was there because I didn't want to lose my job. But there's an interesting thing that happened inside there. I had been avoiding the mirror, right, for such a long time. And even though I looked like I was in great shape, right, shredded, because I was high, I flipped over some tables. I fucking had some issues when I was inside the detox.
Oh, bro, when I was a drug addict, I didn't look in the mirror much. And I didn't even like people taking pictures.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Like, some people were like, dude, can you show me a picture during that time? I'm like, dude, I don't even really have one. Yeah. I avoided.
We use some of mine for that we have very few of them for marketing.
Yeah.
But here's what happened. I'm in rehab. They finally give me over. I just want to take a shower. I left detox, went into the rehab. And because I'm high risk, high energy guy, they're like, they put this big bouncer looking dude on me. I'm standing there naked. It's in a communal shower. There's a guy to my right. I don't want to look right. I don't want to look left at this guy, right? Because I'm fucking want to fight him. So I'm forced to look in this mirror. And I'm like, you're better than this. I start talking to myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Stop fucking lying. I said those 3 words to myself. And it was like the weight just fucking came off my shoulders. I'd like to say that I was cured, right? I don't like the word cured, but I like to say I was better there. But I continued to do the program. I got out July 3rd. I went to the dealership. They gave me a car, gave me some money. I called my son. I said, hey, I want to come get him. I hadn't seen him, right, for months. His mom says, hey, we're in Chicago. You can see him tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. I'm not going to start waves. So I call my one sober friend that I know that lifts weights, good dude, great guy, Kevin Lofi. He said, hey, come over to the pool. Your son's here in our local town. And I'm like, fuck, the anger hit me. I'm like, nah, man, I'm cool. So I don't say anything. I go to a restaurant. I sit down because I've been eating some shitty food for however long I was in there. Some guy walks in. He goes, it's 4th of July weekend. He goes, shots, who wants a shot? I'm like, nah, man, not me. I just got out of rehab. Fuck, it's only one. 6 hours out of that rehab, I relapsed.
Damn.
And I went, and next, I'm doing heroin within an hour and a half after that. I'm fucking coked up. I'm drinking. I'm slamming Red Bulls. I'm listening. It's like I'm a kid. I'm wide open, just fucking out of control. I end up going to a bar that night where all the people from the dealership who just saved my life were at, and fucking lost everything. Fired. They fucking hate me, blah, blah, blah. I went on this like 9-day bender, didn't shower, didn't do nothing, tried to kill myself. It was just a disgusting piece of my life. My brother again comes and says, hey, you need to get on this plane. You're going to your mom's in Florida. So I go down to Florida. I'm down there. Like, I'm shaking. I feel bad for the lady I had to sit next to. Like, it was bad, right? Like, I was convulsing and it was gnarly. Get down to Florida, I get off. I said, you need to take me right to the bar or right to somewhere to get some alcohol because I can't breathe. I just don't feel like shit. So she takes me and does that. I'm down there for a few days like a total pussy. I get a flip phone. I'm calling my ex-wife, telling my, hey, I want to talk to my son. I need him, right? Putting all my weight on my son, everything about it, like everyone else's problem except for mine. She's like, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Why don't you just kill yourself? You should die. Write your rights off to him. You're a loser. And rightfully so, right? At that point. And so I start buying into the things she's telling me. And I'm like, well, fuck it. I will. I'll just write the rights off. I lost everything. I've lost all my businesses, lost everything. I'm a fucking loser. Everything in my life, I'm a fucking loser. So I go and I'm like, I need to get a job though. How else am I going to drink? How else am I going to take care of myself? What am I going to do? So I go and apply for this job as a valet parker. All these things I've done in my life, right? Businesses, millions of dollars, successful, sports, accomplishments, accolades I've done. I'm going to go park cars as a fucking valet parker. So I sit down. Guys like, yeah, we can give you a shot or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go and I grab a beer. I walk out to the ocean and I sit down. And it's a nice day. It's pink. It's blue. The sun, the fucking breezes and everything. And I hear this voice that says, are you ready to listen to me now? And I answered audibly. I'm like, fuck, yeah, I am. Right? Like, who is this? I'm a little crazy in my mind. And I stood up and I went into that place because my mom was working there. And I said, I need to go home to Wisconsin. I need to figure out how to get my life back. And I remember I hadn't seen my son. My job hated me. Everyone hated me. The fucking world had collapsed. I flew home. I drank a handle of vodka, and I went out and put the biggest lie on display of my life and got my job bagged. They're like, we fucking hate you, but if you're so good, prove yourself. You can't have lot-ups, blah, blah. Because I needed opportunity. I said, just give me an opportunity.
That was the low-hanging fruit to go beg for forgiveness.
That was it, man. That was all I could do. Not even forgive me. I didn't want to forgive me. They knew I could make them a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That was July 27, 2015. That I walked back into that dealership, and I haven't had a drink or drugs since then. Not because I think I'm sick, not because I think I'm an alcoholic, not because I'm weak, not because I'm powerless, but because I created a system and a process that works for myself. I've been able to radically shift the intentions behind every action that I take to now liberate thousands and thousands and thousands of men. I went on, even though I missed those 2 months in rehab, to still the top salesman, right, inside there. And then I started teaching people how to sell cars online. So I built a program called 30 and 30. So the entrepreneur comes back.
Updated Homeboys training videos a little bit.
That's exactly what I did, bro. I'm like, fuck.
Man, this is some old school shit.
Well, here's what happened.
Let's put a new spin on it.
So I learned Facebook marketing. I learned how to create videos. I created content. And I just started putting that stuff out. And I'd make 3 posts a day, and I'd sell cars, do these things. Long story short, by 2016, June, I was making $25,000 to $30,000 a month selling cars. And I made $3,989 selling my program. And the dealership says, are you going to just sell these little programs, or are you going to come make some money selling cars? I said, I quit. And I walked away from that, and I started building this thing called 30 and 30. And I built that online business. That's where I met Stuman. That's where all this stuff had happened.
Yeah,
so that's
because
2016.
he did say it was 15, 16-ish, something like that. Yeah.
So I built this things up. I never looked back. What was interesting was the guys that I would talk to they didn't care about selling cars. They want to know how to get their life dialed in.
Right.
Right. They want to know how the fuck if you can do this.
So on that, were you pretty open and sharing kind of some of your
I put a video out
that you overcome and how you use car sales to make money, and I'm going to teach you a thing or two, and then that message resonated and they're like, yo, cool about the car sales, but what about this side?
Yeah. How do I get my wife to love me? How do I become a better dad? How do I not struggle with alcohol? I put a video out that went pretty viral at my whole story. Right? I just put it out there. It was hard for me to do. It took me like an hour and a half to fucking label, like that, to cut it, edit it. Anyways, that attracted a lot of attention. So I went on from 2016 to 2018. I was building my own journey, right? Building my own personal comeback. But I thought I was going to be a car sales trainer.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Right? I didn't think that I was going to do what I do today. So I kept building it and building it and building it. I ended up building that one. I think we did in 2017. We did 600,000 in sales on that one with no like
heavy marketing.
No heavy marketing. Just all hustle,
Yeah.
right? So I took that and I parlayed that into keeping it grow, figure out how to do this, click funnels, learn all these things. January of 2018, like I'd always seen this, I don't have a black shirt on, but it's the black and the white and the yellow, the I'm a comeback. I could see it. And people started calling me the comeback kid. And I could fucking see these things and the 7 F's that I created and this framework that I had and the hundreds and hundreds of notebooks and journaling and everything. January 2018, I called every client that I had on recurring revenue. At this point, it was like $47,000 a month. And I said, hey, I'm not going to take any more money from you. You can have all my content. I'm going to go do something different. So again, I walked away from everything and I started this I'm a comeback thing. And I only enrolled 3 people in the first month, and it did not go good at all, right? Like it was. I thought people were gonna like just come
Just
rushing.
in groves, yeah.
I just thought they were gonna come. Nope, it was 3 people. I couldn't. I think the first guy only paid me $1,000, right? Like to be able to coach him. What's interesting about it though is just like every entrepreneur, and kind of why I'm here is I just stayed at it. I stayed consistent. I learned more. I pushed more. I'd work literally around the clock. I invested in, with Garrett White, like we talked about, on Big Money Marketer Bootcamp with Ryan. I literally went.
So you just started surrounding yourself with individuals that were of value.
What I did was this. I looked at who has something that I want and how can I get it faster than them.
Yeah.
That it was a competition.
So let me ask you this. When you had 3 people, what were you like, maybe this ain't it?
100, yeah.
Like,
I started going back and forth.
Yeah, like maybe I should go back to the car sales trainer thing or car sales in general or whatever, right? Because there might be people listening right now that their business, they've got something that they were super excited about. And everybody needs to realize when you have a concept or an idea, you're in this weird honeymoon phase where it's so great in your mind, but sometimes it takes time for something great to ultimately turn into great.
And even though like by all means we're great right now, it's still next level is difficult as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The next level that I'm at, I just told you I want to get people to come in, big like investors, guys who know more than me. Like I don't know that level. I only know how to get it to where it is right now. Right. Like I'm pretty much at the capacity of what I know, or I figure out how to put myself around next level people.
Exactly.
Right? My ideas and the concept work well.
Well, you've basically been honest with yourself and like I've taken this thing as far as I can go. I'm now the plateau. I'm creating my own plateaus. And I think the majority of entrepreneurs that are running a business, they are the plateau.
Sure.
Because they're not admitting, hey, this area I'm just not good in.
My greatest
seek
strength
out help
is just to like I literally told you right when I got in. I'm not the right guy to run it to what it's worth. It's a multi-billion-dollar ideal. That's no joke. I've had guys that are very, very successful that want to invest and say, dude, you got something massive here. I don't know how to get there.
Well, you've never built it. So either you surround yourself with people that have, or you hire the people.
I think I could take it in this year myself as I'm starting to plan it out to at least $100 million company.
Okay.
Right, of value. I think I can get it there. I basically have to just double where we're at right now.
Right.
So
which is not difficult.
Let's talk about the program just a little bit. I don't want you to pull back the whole curtain, or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like, is this like, do people get involved and then there's, an initial onboarding call and then there's like weekly calls, monthly calls? Is it more in-person meetups? Is it
so we got
like it kind of explain
I mean, it's morphed into many things. The way it sits in its entirety right now is I've got a team. The truth is my front end, it's called the Comeback Council. I don't even coach in there anymore because I had to figure out how do I build something that could be, how can my words become immortal?
Gotcha.
Right?
Right.
In order for
Pass
that to
them
happen.
down to other people and empower them.
Same thing with you guys building the business. This thing needs to live on without you at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because, your kids might not want to do it or who knows, right? Or you might want to sell. Like, how do you build something bigger than yourself? And I've been able to successfully do that with my ideas and beliefs. And what I've done was figure out a way to leverage artificial intelligence. So we have bots and automation and all these things that come in and actually feels like you're having a conversation with me.
Correct.
But then I also have human element. So I've got a team of, we're up to like 40 with subcontractors at one point, but now I think we're down to maybe like 15, 16 people doing it. All meetings that we do on the council where we help you get a control of alcohol are done in group format. The next level, which is called the Alliance, is still done in group, but we give you like a little more time with me on a call. I don't do anything one-on-one until you get into my high ticket stuff. My main mission and like the Comeback Council, the thing that could help people that are struggling with alcohol is how do I build it so that it's duplicatable every fucking day, right? It's a process that you can come into where you don't leave feeling like you're weak and you never leave my meetings feeling like you want to drink. I can tell you that. I'll let you guys attend one if you want. It's really just a fucking power fest. So yeah, it's done in, artificial intelligence, 3 weekly meetings, boat crew meetings that we do.
3 weekly meetings?
3 weekly meetings, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. They do their own boat crew, which is groups of 7 helping holding each other accountable. That correlates to the program that I've laid out. I've got a 52-week program that's delivered to them, kind of like what you guys were talking about doing for yourselves. Mine's all automated. It's already built out. Videos. What else do? We send out boxes, a care package that actually has meaning to the core values of my company or to the movement, which is called the 7 Fs. So I've created ways that you are just engulfed into everything I'm a comeback. Right? It's pretty crazy when you see guys that are super successful.
So that's the new label that you want them, I am I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not this. I'm a comeback. In
essence, even sitting here talking to you with your story, bro, you're a comeback by all means. Like everybody loves the hero's journey. Right? The comeback, everyone loves a comeback story. I didn't set out that intention for it. It's happening. People are labeling themselves.
Yeah, comebacks. I mean, I think it's a good thing. If you're going to label yourself as anything, label it as something that's positive, where you feel empowered that you are in control, not something external, right? And I think that if anything, you're giving them an opportunity to remove an old label that has negative condensations to it to something that's a little bit more positive. And I think that's probably why it's spread.
It's spreading fast, and you're 100% correct. Now, if I'm going to label me, like I said in the beginning, it's freedom, man. I only want freedom. Freedom of all things, right? That's why I'm proud to be an American. I mean, I'm not going to go into that type of rant right now, but it's freedom from whatever chains, shackles, bondage has been holding me back for so long. Every day I get up, I want to pour into myself so I can pour into other people. Because when I look at freedom, I was flying in looking at these mountains from Colorado to Utah here. And just like this fucking primal thing inside me just wants to just be free like a fucking stallion and run. I know I'm not a horse, but like I don't want any labels on me besides freedom.
Right.
And I think if somebody can understand or resonate with that message, they're like, holy shit, freedom represents me. It's not just this thing that America stands for. It's actually me. It's a mindset. It's a choice, right?
In other words, you're not letting external limitations be placed upon you, right? That's really the idea of it. Whatever it is that you want to do, you could do through the power of choice.
100%.
Because every single time somebody and I've had these debates with other people that have had drug issues or whatever. You're just like this one scenario, like you don't get it. That's not normal. I am an addict, and it was always I would always battle with some of my friends that I used to use with that would let's put it this way. Like 4 years or 5 years after I get a text message and it said something like happy anniversary. I was like, I'm like, it's not my anniversary, dude. He's like, yeah, the date that you got. So like, I just wanted that life gone to where, the first year or two or whatever, but I was so focused on where I was going that I didn't realize it was year 4 or year 5.
Yeah.
But
you're not holding on to these.
The ones that were always saying, I'm an addict, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. They kept going back. Like I watched my friends do that over and over that labeled themselves as something, but they would always relapse rather than just saying, I am no longer this. That's not who I am. And this is now who I am. And you live your life based upon a new set of rules, right?
Allowing yourself to be confined by that amount of pressure is fucking just asinine, right? It's my date. I need to make it here every fucking day. I need to count. If I fuck up, I go back to 0. I use this analogy all the time, right? Think about a guy in a factory. He's been working there 35 years, never missed a day of work in his life, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden he gets COVID and he has to take a couple of days off, 7-10 days quarantine. Does he lose that tenure? Does he lose that seniority that he had there because he had to take 10 days off? Or does he pick right back off where he was at?
Picks right up.
Why? Right. So why would you put so much weight on the fact if you picked up this fucking drink that you go back to 0?
Yeah.
Dude, we don't count days. We count memories, moments, and experiences. And I like to fucking maximize every. This is an experience I'm having fun at right now. I will count this as a win for my day.
Yeah.
Right? This is better to me than saying, yep, I didn't drink today.
Yeah. You know, I got put, and you know, my brother was a drug addict, right? Pretty bad. He had his runs as well. And, you know, he got pretty upset with me because I wouldn't show up to his drug court graduations or his Salvation Army finish dates when they gave him a bed there to get, you know, detoxed and clean and follow their program. I was like, dude, I'm not going to show up and celebrate you. Like,
doing what you should be doing.
Yeah. Like, to me, in my mind at that time, I was like, well, if we keep celebrating you graduating things like this, are you just going to keep relapsing so that people will celebrate you when you get back clean again? You know, like, this is a weird cycle. I don't think I'm doing you any favors by celebrating your win at sobriety, these little programs, right? And so I love that, what you just said, dude. Like, dude, we celebrate memories. You know,
Well, I mean,
wins for the day. I would love
a 40-year-old
because-
doesn't say, I'm going to celebrate 40 years clean.
Right.
Like, just as you said, I didn't want to celebrate the distance that it's been of something that I should have never been doing. Like, let's forget about it and move on.
Why should I be celebrating something that I fucked myself up with when I like? Why?
Happy anniversary. Yeah, let's keep remembering this old story and this old thing that was just a little piece of my history. It's just not. Again, it's not who I am, right?
And I think the message. I know we talked a lot about drinking in my story here, but there's someone out there right now that said exactly what you said, Cal. They're like, yeah, I fucking find myself in this rut every 3 weeks, every 6 weeks, every 4 times a year, right? I let it go. Am I an alcoholic? Right? They're probably questioning that. Hopefully they hear this message and they're like, man, the truth is the pressure to run a business, to build a business, to do some big shit comes at a heavy load, right? Heavy's the head that wears the crown. And hopefully that guy that's listening to this or gal that's listening to this understands, like, it's just a fucking thing you did.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
Like,
let it go.
It's not about what you did. It's about what you're going to do. What are you going to do now?
So I
right
after everything I told you would think, why would this guy ever want to drink again? Right? Like 50 to 60 drinks a day, snort cocaine all day long, shoot heroin, and take handfuls of pills to go to sleep. And steroids. That was like at the height of my career, right? I was pretty good at getting fucked up.
You had a high batting average of
really, really good. Really good.
Fucked up.
But like when I look at that, like people would say, why would you ever want to drink again if you know it's such a slippery slope? Dude, my wife's 30 years old. I enjoy her, right? Eventually I'm going to get to a spot where we can be in Cabo. Like, you know, you guys I saw you didn't drink much, but you had a couple drinks down there.
I usually drink when I'm out of, I have 4 DUIs.
I remember
you know what I mean? So like, I don't ever drink here in town. I'll drink at an event or if I'm on vacation, you know, whether it's a mixed drink or a glass of wine, but I don't really do it like at home or around my kids just on a Wednesday night.
Where I'm going with this is people would say, why would you ever want to go back? Like, dude, that's not about going back. Like, I want to own every fucking, maybe it's a control thing for me, right? I want to own myself. Yeah. Nobody owns me. Nobody owns you. Nobody owns you. Even though you guys might be partners inside the business and own it together, your actions are independent every fucking day on yourself, 100%. Right? So if I decide one day Kendra and I are in Maui and we're hanging out and I want to have a fucking White Claw because I've never had a White Claw because they're not right. Like, I wonder what they taste like because I love bubble. Maybe I want to fucking have a White Claw. I might have 10 White Claws, but it's not about what I do that day versus what I do the next day, the next day, and the next day. Right? I already know that I'm going to feel like shit the next day, just like you said. Yeah. Right? But I'm not going to be depressed because I already know that sets in. I'm going to earn my fucking hangover if I have one. Yeah. And I'm going to do something about it. And that, to me, is what a winner does.
So how long has it been since you haven't drank? Like
so yeah, I mean
2, 3, 4 years or
no, it's been 7 years. I haven't had anything. I don't have any time
since 15 or 16.
Yeah, at the rate that I work at right now, bro. I haven't put anything in my body.
Outside of coffee. Or water. That's all we've seen here, people. Yeah. You know, we can verify. Yeah, I haven't smelled the coffee yet because I know there's those
got
motherfuckers.
Some fucking Baileys in there.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I do take a non-stimulant fucking pre-workout.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it. Mm-hmm.
But it seems like a lot of people that have had troubles in their past are the type of people that could be massively successful if they harness whatever the fuck's going on, right? Because they're usually not the half-ass type people.
Sure.
There's some people that are half-ass everything, even dabbling with alcohol or drugs or whatever. I knew people that used drugs, but it would be like a weekend thing. I never fully understood it. I'm like, yo, how?
You know, like I want to feel this good all the time, and then you become an addict, and then you don't feel so good. But yeah, I never understood it. But those same people that kind of were dabblers have been like they were dabblers in life. You know, we've met some people. You know, Brent. I was like, "Have you ever?" And he's like, "Oh, I've never even tried it." I said, "Good, because I see how you're doing your crypto thing, bro." I'm like, "You when you commit, you go all in."
Sure.
And I was like, that's a bad trait for an individual that wants to try this, that, or the other. And so have you seen that, you know, there's a lot of individuals that are just, it's either 0 or 100, and you see those people that, you know, ruin their life, they get clean, get sober, whatever, and then they're just on this rocket ship to, you know, this new destination in their life because they're that type of individual.
So let me tell you the problem that we create inside of the men that we help. It's definitely a high-driven, achieving man that comes in our program. And what happens is they follow this framework to a fucking T. They get 3, 4, 5 weeks in, and they're like off to the fucking races. What happens is every single one of them forgets to bring their wife along, right? So then all of a sudden I create this massive gap that they're like, their wife doesn't understand.
They're changing so quickly.
And the wife's like, they wanted it the whole time, but where was this guy? You know how many wives have messaged me? I hate you because why could I not change my husband? And then they end up loving me at the end of it, right? But why did some guy on the internet, how was he able to change my husband?
When I have begged
I've been trying for 20 fucking
and said
years.
I was going to leave, he's going to lose his kids. What the fuck else what above that would make somebody make a change, right?
And they come at that, but then what happens is they take off, and then lucky for me, I create a whole new program inside of my program to help them get in a relationship with their wife, and I can fix that equally as good. But what I'm talking about is you see big money happen, you see businesses happen, you see it just fucking go, which is awesome. But it leaves a trail. If you don't fucking go all in on your faith, finances, family, fitness, future, freedom to build this foundation, then you can get a little sidetracked on the stuff that matters, which is ultimately your family.
So that's why you combine all of those. So you let people know, like, there's more than one area that you need to focus.
Yeah, it's not just
it can't be completely imbalanced.
That's why, and I wouldn't say I have a very, very balanced life for me personally, because I'm all in this season on the life I'm building on a comeback, but I'll drop everything that I have going on to take care of my kids and take care of my wife. They matter the most. So like, I'm not doing one or the other, I'm doing them together, which is pretty cool, right? So, and that's available to anybody, even you guys, right? Like, how do you get your kids speaking on stages with you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you show them the same shit that you're doing? And how do you get your wife to buy into whatever you're doing every day when you're here having a podcast?
Stewman does a good job with that. His kids are in Cabo. Yeah. You know, with us when us three were in Cabo, they're breaking it down on the dance floor. You know,
I noticed it with my wife, man. Like, I noticed that, like, even when I started, because I've gone through a couple different growth journeys. Like, when I got divorced and I had to deal with anger issues, and I went through all this therapy and personal growth, changed my life. But then, you know, my new wife comes in the picture, and, you know, I'm going down this new business growth journey, and a lot of it's personal growth. And then it's like, I noticed, and we actually had a few arguments about, like, I remember one time she said, Don't just use all that weird talk on me, like, you know, about all this growth shit or your therapy or whatever the hell, you know, like, stop it, you know. And I was actually realizing, like, dude, I need to bring her with me, you know, because it creates this gap like you talked about. And so I try and bring her any chance I can. I actually really enjoy and love when we can, right? When we get a nanny to stay home and she can, you know, clear her schedule and we can both go to Cabo with a mastermind or to Dallas or whatever. And it actually is pretty powerful, dude. It's pretty powerful to be able to bring them with you.
This one, because it was in and out, that's why Kendra didn't come. Yeah. Otherwise, she goes everywhere with me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
Well, your wife's doing her thing too. You want to speak on that for a minute?
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
she basically,
because we talked about, hey, for man, this, that, the other, but
yeah, that's a good point.
There's women listeners as well, just so that, you know, one, I want them to know where to contact you, where to connect with you, but also want you to tell them a little bit about your wife's thing as well, so that whatever it is that she's helping women through, that the women listeners as well could have a source to.
So connect. One of the biggest things for me was it didn't sit right to not be able to help everybody. Like,
gotcha.
I don't want to coach women, and she didn't really want to coach either. So we tried to test the waters with another woman coaching. I couldn't get behind it. Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me to spend time with some other. It just didn't make sense to me. So anyways, Kendra finally came into her own after Cabo. She saw that, and she's like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to fucking do this thing. So she created the same framework, everything that I've done already for her. We just duplicated it in her own program, her own bots, everything going on, same thing, called Lethal Ladies. It's not so much about alcohol as it's about women empowerment. So Kendra served in Afghanistan. She did a tour over there for a couple years. Alcohol has also ravaged her life, which is another story I could talk about why she's perfect for me. Her little brother, he died in a bad car accident, and then her dad drank himself to death and had a heart attack 3 weeks before her and I got married. Literally. So she knows how to deal with it, but she's not a drinker herself.
Yeah.
Right? She's never really drank. I shouldn't say that. In between, I wasn't with her at the time, but when her brother had passed away, she went in a couple months there. Just a little deeper. Yeah. Lost her best friend.
Yeah.
But she really focuses on like the same thing, the mindset. She's been getting coached by me every fucking day since I've met her. So she can speak the same language, maybe not from the heart the way that I do, but she's now delivering it to these women, and it's growing fucking fast. The wives, like you said, or we talked about that gap.
Right.
So when I create this gap, what's happening, the women are stepping in there and Kendra's actually fulfilling it. But we allow outside ladies to come in too. Instagram's actually, she's got a little following, but making money off there already, which is pretty cool.
What is it?
Lethal Ladies. Yeah. Her website's
Lethal Ladies.
At Lethal Ladies. Yep.
Okay. And then her website.
Her website's wearelethal.com.
Okay. And and where do people go to try to connect with you? I know you have the Instagram, I Am a Comeback.
Yeah, man.
Is that the best area for them to connect with you, or is there IamAComeback.com?
Yeah, there's IamAComeback.com. The way we have it all set up is it's an application process. I don't do a ton of like talking to the guys anymore. And I lost my Instagram. Remember, it got stolen from me.
Oh yeah.
I got it back, by the way. I got it back. Dude,
Mark's so popular, they're out here trying to take his image.
They literally took $5,000 from me to try to get it back, and I ended up getting it back, but they ruined the account. But anyways, IamAComeback.com, man. We have a application process on there. I've got a team ready, standing, waiting by to handle phone calls.
There are YouTube videos,
tons of YouTubes. Mark Jennison
out or whatever if they want to kind of poke around, see what it's about a little bit more. Maybe there's more information on your website and stuff.
IamAComeback.com or IamAComeback on YouTube. Mark Jennison, not MarkJennison.com anymore, but yeah, man. I don't, when I get on here, I don't ever really promote it. Like I do it completely different than everybody else. I want them to hear the message and feel it for themselves.
Yeah.
If they feel called and compelled to take action, just go click I Am a Comeback or Google IamAComeback.com and find out what it is, or message me on Facebook if you feel. If not, that's cool too. My hope is this: somebody who's listening to this, whether it's not them, whether it's someone they love, because we all know somebody impacted by alcohol, they can take this message and share it with them, because it is one of redemption and power for sure.
Yeah, and everybody has the ability to do it. It's just a matter of hearing the right words at the right time, right? Nobody's going to be able to change anybody for that person. My family wanted to change me for a long time. I wasn't ready, right? So yes, make sure that you're sharing the message with somebody that you think that could get value from it, but they have to be ready as well.
100%.
Like they have to be in that space where they're just ready to move on and release the shackles of, this thing that they have to do every day just to even try to survive or feel normal, because they're going to start going through withdrawals or pain, just like you did when you get off the plane, right?
100%.
So guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure that you reach out to Mark, connect with him. If the message connect with you, or if you're dealing with some issues with alcohol or, marriage or whatever it may be, make sure that you touch base. See what they're all about, because they have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people just in a short time frame. So you can only imagine what it'll look like a decade from now. That thousands will turn into millions.
We all still have like shit to work out.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Even the people that feel like they're the most put together, or my life's pretty great right now, but I still have shit to work out. You know what I mean? And so, dude, if that's a channel for you guys to get some help that you need, like you said, you invited us to come check it out. I want to come check it out, dude. Cool. I'm always looking for where can I be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whether it is in the home life, the fatherhood, the marriage, whatever it is, man. And I didn't talk a whole lot this episode, dude, because I'm just like, dude, your stories are incredible. And I'm just like, it's just like hearing them all, dude. And some of them I can really relate to.
I enjoy just hearing it. Yeah, like that. This is how we get to know people on a deeper level too. It's not like, some podcasts, they make you like send a resume and shit to where they know everything about you, so they have talking points. But we like to do just more organic. And so I enjoyed, listening to every single time that you started to make the corner, but you know, you went back, and then here you are sitting here today, you know,
man.
impacting people.
It was incredible.
Yeah, no, I think it's amazing.
Well, I appreciate you guys for having me.
And it's definitely something that not a lot of people have done that have seen that many, you know, losses over that decade or however long it was to still, you know, rise up out of that. I think it's super impressive.
I appreciate you
admirable,
coming out,
you know? Yeah,
making the trip, sharing with our audience, man. I know our type of audience is very similar to type of groups we're a part of, and I know we all struggle with a lot of the same stuff. So I think
a lot of entrepreneurs are struggling with, you know, some people maybe they have a different outlet for it, but some people have an outlet of alcohol or whatever it is.
We all got an obsession of some kind.
Everybody has an outlet that they deal with stress. Some are positive outlets and some are negative, right? So guys, make sure, again, you're sharing the episode with somebody that you believe will get value, rate, review, all that good stuff. Other than that, kick ass. Have a good day. See you guys next week.